Good Packer Nation morning, everybody. I don't know that it's that good of a morning, but I hope it is for you. Yeah, Packers coming off a loss to the Colts, 26-31. This is not everybody's favorite day in Packer Nation, but it's going to be therapeutic. We're going to help you guys out. So first things first, we're going to do Packer Nation roll call. And right now, emoji me your thoughts. Let it all out. Emoji me your feelings right now. Virginia says good morning. Lauren is here, says good morning from Florida. Let it all out, Packer Nation. Emoji me your feelings. I see angry already. I see sad. Bryce is here. Peter Vargas says, ouch. And I couldn't agree with you more. Wayne is here. Hector is back as well. Good cussing morning, he says. And my sentiments exactly, my friend. Aisha is here. Virginia, Dan, and my buddy Rick is on. Rick says, you don't want to hear from me about this team. And but I bet we will, Rick. You know you're jumping in the comments here one of these times. Aisha has a smiley face. Kyle is here. Adam, Kirk, and Simon Pierre is here from Quebec. All right. Good to see you guys. Yeah, and you guys need to jump on. Just jump on and just emoji me your feelings. Just let it all out. Tim says good morning. Justin is here. Good morning, Tim. I hope you're doing well. Wendy, Kip, and Greg. All right, guys. Well, yeah, there's a lot to talk about, and not all of it is good. So I want to preface this show with two things. One is, listen, if we say negative things about the Packers, it's not because we don't love them. It's because we do. And we want them to play better, and they need to play better. The number two thing is, if I see anybody put relax across the screen, I will ban your ass right now. I saw it last night. Some people literally willing to put that up there. Aaron Rodgers is tired of that phrase, and I wasn't even tired of it until after he was. So that said, let's get into it, guys. Packers, yeah, could not pull it out against a very bad Colts team. This was a team that had they had a high-powered offense to some extent. However, they were just a bad team, and we were not able to get it done. We were able to be a badder team, and not badder in the sense of being tough, but badder in the sense of being worse, being just unable to complete drives in this game. We had plenty, folks, of opportunities. And Hector says we can't relax anymore, and that's absolutely true. Packers now 4-4. The Vikings swung the door wide open for us, and we were not able to walk through it against the Colts. That is very disappointing, and you can see it on the faces of the Packers team. We're going to talk about that a lot today. But I think what I will do first, just as a matter of therapy, is because we do it every Monday, let's play Love It or Leave It. You guys want to play Love It or Leave It with me this morning? I think, and you know it's probably going to be a lot of Leave It. Okay, Love It or Leave It is the game where you put up, you emoji me your response. Love It is the heart. Leave It is the angry face. And I just give you a list of things. And most of the time, what I try to do on Love It or Leave It is put you in a little bit of a quandary, right? Where something might be good, but it might have a bad aspect to it. Or it might have gone wrong, but there might be a positive spin. You can think about it. In this case, probably not the case. No, I have a few things. I have a few positives on here, guys. All right, here we go. All right, Love It or Leave It, folks. The opening kickoff, run back for a touchdown. First time the Colts have had a kickoff run back for a touchdown since December 30th of 2012. Love or leave it. Yeah. And then later on, he has a 61-yard return as well to add on top of that. And you know what we're going to see? We're going to see Ron Zook up there at the podium this week. Oh, yeah, well, we know we got to play better than that, and we will. And then probably, what does that mean? 2 touchdowns next game? So, Love It or Leave It, opening kickoff, run back for a touchdown. All right, Love It or Leave It, ha-ha. Now, this is one that's a little bit of a quandary. Love It or Leave It, ha-ha, Clinton Dix. 2 interceptions. He gets the sack, but unable to get that final third down sack toward the end of the game that would have basically given the Packers a chance to come back in this game. Love It or Leave It, ha-ha, Clinton Dix right now. I need to see your emoji. I see some hearts starting to filter their way into the stream of angry faces right now. I thought, Clinton Dix had a fantastic game. I would have loved to see him get that sack, but to be quite honest, the most impressive thing that I saw about him after the game, he said the only play that I'm going to be thinking about is that I missed that sack. That's the only play I care about. And I love the way that guy plays football. I love his attitude, And I love that he's got the attitude of a winner, that the only thing he's going to be focusing on is getting better and making that sack next time. And he said he's not going to make that same mistake twice. So love it or leave it, ha-ha, Clinton Dix. All right, love it or leave it, folks. Blitzing 37% of the time as opposed to 19% of the time. Do you love it or do you leave it? We got to Andrew Luck 2 times in this game. We were getting 4 sacks a game, blitzing 19% of the time. Do you love it? Do you leave it? Is it what we needed to do or is it not? Obviously, it didn't amount to the number of sacks that we wanted, but like we said before this game, it gives you the opportunity for interceptions. Ha-ha, Clinton Dix with 2 of those. So love it or leave it. Blitzing more in this game to the tune of twice as much. All right, love it or leave it. Oh, gosh. This is painful. Love it or leave it. The offense getting over 400 yards of total offense, but only able to score 26 points in this game. I think we had 19 plays in the third quarter, and were able to score 3 points. Love it or leave it. The offense, over 400 yards of total offense, and only able to put 26 on the board and as many trips as we took to the end zone. To the red zone, I'm sorry. Wow. All right. Yeah, here come the angry faces. Love it or leave it, guys. Jake Ryan, 10 tackles, 1 assist in this game. Very active out there. You got to sometimes pick through the dross to find the gold, and Jake Ryan with a solid game. Your inside linebacker needs to have his tackle count up there. Jake Ryan, 10 tackles, 1 assist in this game. Love it or leave it. You know, this is in a defensive effort that gave up way too many points. Jake Ryan with 10 tackles and 1 assist. All right, love it or leave it. Randall Cobb, activated, standing on the sideline. And then when he goes in, where does he line up? In the backfield. Takes the snap and ends up fumbling. He gets jacked in the rib cage, it looked like. Ends up fumbling. Love it or leave it. Randall Cobb, he has to sit the sidelines while he's active. And when but he's trying to stay warm. You got to stay warm is the problem. I know it was a warm day at Lambeau, but still, when you're getting ready to go in and compete, he's trying to stay warm. They put him in, and they line him up in the backfield. Love it or leave it, folks. All right, love it or leave it. And this is a little shout out to the NFL's military campaign that they did yesterday. And this is tongue in cheek, so it's actually meant to be funny. Don't take it too serious, but. Love it or leave it, Mike Daniels. I think the Army called Mike Daniels late last night and asked him if he wouldn't mind. They tried to recruit him, I think, to maybe come and get tossed out of planes for the Army as a bunker bomb. Mike Daniels, I saw him take three defenders, or 3 offensive linemen, not just offensive linemen, but 2 linemen and a running back at one time, come out the other side stomping on one of them. Almost was able to get a safety out of that. Of course, we saw Luck throw over it, and it didn't do us any good. But Mike Daniels was an absolute beast. He was a fiend out there. He was going crazy. The rest of the defense was not catching on to it. So love it or leave it, Mike Daniels. I absolutely, he and Jake Ryan and ha-ha Clinton Dix, I absolutely get my game ball on the defensive side of the ball. Mike Daniels, love it or leave it. All right, back to the offense, so you guys can hover your finger over whichever button you think you might be hitting at this point. Love it or leave it. It's 3rd and short. Let's take out Ripkowski and Don Jackson. Let's take both of them out and put Ty Montgomery in on 3rd and short. Love it or leave it. At some point you have to have somewhat of a traditional style running game, and 3rd and short is usually the place you need that. And I think we just proved that we don't have it. But love it or leave it. Take out Ripkowski and Don Jackson and put in, and that's no slight at all on Ty Montgomery. No slight at all on Ty Montgomery. I love what he's doing back there. However, situational football. I mean, Don Jackson can catch out of the backfield too. You could even play action that thing and pop him out into the flat. But for crying out loud, wow! All right, love it or leave it. Another third quarter moving the ball effectively, but only scoring 3 points. I think we mentioned that one a little bit earlier. Love it or leave it. Where am I at? Love it or leave it. Okay, all right, guys. I got one mixed in here that's a bit random, but we needed this one. We had to mention this one. Love it or leave it, the Vikings miss a PAT so that the Blair Kick project continues. And this is off the beaten path, but the Blair Kick project continues. They miss a PAT so that Stafford and the Lions can come back and they can actually tie the game with a field goal with like 23 seconds left. They can march down the field and tie, and then march down the field again in overtime and beat the Vikings. They opened the door wide open for us. We didn't walk through it, but love it or leave it, the Vikings going down. This could be very important, just like this loss against the Colts could be very important and one we regret for a very, very long time. All right, let's see. Love it or leave it. Justin Perillo, okay? Justin Perillo, hardly any reps. But every time he gets in there, he, catches the ball. He only had, 2 catches, but he only had, 3 plays, I feel like. So love it or leave it, Justin Perillo. I mean, gosh, we have no tight end. Richard Rodgers with a little more of a presence this game. But I'm seeing Justin, every time they trot that boy out on the field, he does something. All right, love it or leave it. Okay, love it or leave it. Simply 13 points in the fourth quarter. Far and away our best production. 13 points in the fourth quarter of this game. So it wasn't enough, but it's still 13 points in one quarter. Better than we've been able to call upon for a long time. All right, and here's a twofer. Love it or leave it. The refs never once calling a holding penalty on the guy that was holding Julius Peppers all game. I mean, for crying out loud, not one. And on the flip side of that, love it or leave it, Julius Peppers, 0 tackles, 0 sacks in a game where Clay Matthews was not able to go, and we needed our veteran leadership to get out on the field and make a difference. So love it or leave it, folks. All right, we're going to finish. Okay, this is the last but not least. Love it or leave it. The rogue squirrel that got out on the field and was apparently the only resident of Green Bay who knew where the end zone was in the third quarter. Love it or leave it. The lovable little squirrel who had probably the best form, the best stride. I think maybe Ty Montgomery and the squirrel were probably tied for a couple of our best nose for the end guys in this game. So love it or leave it, that little furry friend who was scared, you know what-less out there, poor little guy. But frankly, the guy was actually playing for the Colts. This is what nobody has called upon, but he was playing for the Colts. The Colts let him loose because he totally slowed our offense. Our offense was rolling. And he was sent out there by the Colts. They had him in a box. I don't know why. Everybody assumes it's a Green Bay squirrel. It wasn't, folks. So I'm leaving it. All right, guys, that's love it or leave it for today. I hope that helps. I hope it makes you feel a little better, just to get a little bit out. Scared cussless, said Bryce. Yes, that poor little dude. He's out there just running his butt off. All right, circle the stat time, guys. And I'm going to, I could make this very short and sweet. The only stat I circled is Colts 31, Packers 26. Just absolutely the only stat that matters. And the one that is most disappointing. Remember, we talked about this game. This game needed to be a blowout to really make any kind of statement as to whether the offense was sort of continuing to point in the right direction and the defense was starting to get things squared away. We got some guys back. And in this game, to let the Colts score 31 points. Yes, and we said this, they averaged 26 a game. But our defense should have been able to shut down Frank Gore. Frank Gore with 2 touchdowns on the ground, including one we're going to talk about in a little bit, that followed up one of the plays that could have been a difference maker in this. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, unless I miss my notes. But yeah, 31-26 pack. Colts. We let them have 14 in the first quarter. They had 10 in the second. Remember, I see that my score for the Colts was 16 points in this game. They had 17 in the first half. They covered my score in the first half. But this is what I said about our defense. Our defense is capable of shutting teams out in the second half. We weren't able to do it. We just weren't able to do it. They ended up with, 24 in the first half. We weren't able to do it, but they held them to 7 in the second half. And then our offense, had we been able to put together a third quarter of any substance whatsoever, plus we got a missed field goal in this game, which didn't amount, it's a 4-point spread, so that didn't make the difference, but still, just not enough, guys. And you can, you can angry face right now just the fact that, before the issue was our defense was playing well, but our offense was sputtering. Now we're seeing a trend in this defense. Is anybody else out there not happy that this defense gives up a touchdown within 2 minutes of every single half and within a couple minutes of the end of every single game right now? And what we're doing, you go into a shell, you're trying to play the odds, you're trying to keep it between the 20s is what you're trying to do. But we have to make a change. It is not working. We are not keeping it between the 20s. What we're doing is giving up a score before every half and giving up a score at the end of every game. And our defense has done a lot to keep us in games. There is no question about that. But this is the one thing we have to shore up, and we have to do it right now. Or not only are we going to get beat, we're going to get blown out. We have to stop the scoring, the touchdowns, before every half and at the end of every single game. But there's a positive in it. Here's the positive. And it's only the positive at the end of every single game, because the touchdown before the half that we give up doesn't help us a bit. The touchdown at the close to the end of every single game is the only time that Aaron Rodgers goes out there and our offense starts to click. This is the problem. Our offense only gets in rhythm under pressure when it's too late. It's too little too late. And mark my words now, I haven't gone back, I didn't analyze this just yet, but mark my words, the reason we're successful is because the defenses are doing the same thing we're doing at the ends of halves and at the ends of games. They're going into a shell. That's why we're suddenly seeing success. That's why we scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. DM says too many cussing field goals, period. Yeah, look how many we kicked. We kicked one more than we even scored on. Yolanda's with me. We got to get this short up, and we got to start scoring because we are an offense who scores, not scoring because we're an offense who is about to lose again. So that's my circle the stat. I don't know if I'll go over much more. I mean, look at this. Look at the statistics in this game. And we did. We put up 26 points when all was said and done, but. These are what they call garbage time touchdowns, guys. That's not the MO of our offense has not been garbage time touchdowns, but these are garbage time touchdowns that we're seeing. All right, because in the end, we're not able to close the game. Atlanta Falcons, garbage time touchdown. You don't close that game, call it garbage. Colts, call it garbage. Andrew Luck, 23 of 36 for 281 yards. 1 touchdown in this game and 2 interceptions. Compare that to Aaron Rodgers, 26 of 43, 297 yards. He's right on pace in that 300-yard range. Again, he has 3 touchdowns. He does throw the 1 pick. We put 26 points up. We had, 19 plays in the third quarter and put 3 points on the board. Got to get fixed. Got to get fixed. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I tell you, we'll see the coaches every time. We'll see them, getting up there, and we'll see them getting up there and beating the same old drum. We know what we have to do. We'll get it fixed, and it just comes out never fixed. So that goes to the question. All right, that's enough stats because there's really nothing good. I mean, it wasn't a bad game for us. I think we maybe barely beat them time of possession. I mean, obviously, you take the two kickoff returns out of the equation, and we actually played a pretty decent field position game in this. For most of the game, we were hanging in there with field position, which again gave us chances for scores that we did not capitalize. But the Packers have a tough road to hoe. We got to get on. We're on the road for all the rest of November, folks. It's a long, long stretch. We got to start with Tennessee. They lost, get to the Chargers, 43-35, but they put 35 points up against the Chargers. Can this defense get it done? I don't know. It's not going to get any easier. And that brings me to the question, and I'm gonna take a straw poll on this one, okay? And we're gonna do one at a time, okay? Packer Nation straw poll. And you're going to give me a thumbs up if you agree, because what we want to know is, where does the problem lie? Does the problem lie with the players? Does the problem lie with the coaches right now? Okay, but when we're going to do it one at a time. So I want Packer Nation to get a view of what's going on here. So thumbs up me if you think the players are the problem right now. It's the players. They're the ones that execute the plays. The plays have been good enough to get us in position to win. Thumbs up if you think the players are the problem right now. I don't see a lot of thumbs up right yet. It could be a little delay too, though. I see one or two. The players. Are the players? I mean, we got some good players, folks. And they're not getting the job done. So thumbs up right now. Straw poll, guys. If the players are the problem, just hover over that button if you're not driving. And give me a thumbs up if you think the players are the issue right now, that they are good enough. Okay? And a lot of people out there are really, let me ask you that. You keep thumbs up for the players right now, because if you're a little bit disappointed, that Jordy Nelson, he had that one fantastic touchdown catch, absolute vintage Jordy Nelson. That's what my cousin Jeff texted me from Madison. He's like, vintage Jordy. But if you're not a little disappointed, thumbs up if you're not a little disappointed. Aaron Rodgers, he still had some brilliant play, had almost 300 yards, had the 3 touchdowns in this game. But did you not think that maybe there was one or two that we could have got better? Including one we're going to talk about in a minute, the beginning of the fourth quarter. Jordy Nelson breaks out, Aaron Rodgers goes long. They're all not on the same page. Extremely important drive. Extremely important drive. We're going to talk about that in more depth in a little bit. All right. So those are the guys. These are the folks that think that the players are the issue here. All right, everybody out there, if you think the players are the issue, okay, now it's time for you to ease off for a second so we can get a little blank space. And now let me know if you think the coaching staff is the problem. Thumbs up. If this is a coaching issue. All right. If this is a coaching staff issue, it's time to hit that button right now. If you are not driving, as I always say, because there's no point in anyone getting hurt, right? If we're already hurt bad enough with the loss to the Colts. Thumbs up if you think the coaching staff, because the coaching staff, they put the team in position. They have to make the call. We saw, again, another timeout that we had to waste in this game early in the second half, in a game that could very well have come down to needing these timeouts toward the end of the game. So thumbs up if you think the coaching staff is at stake here, if they are the ones that are the root cause of this problem. And I see a lot of thumbs up. Boy, I tell you, this is, Packer Nation is, and I saw the comment come upon. I don't know if it was DM. I'm sorry that I forgot who made the comment. But it says it's a toss-up, and I didn't comment at the time because we're doing the straw. I'm just making you guys, you got to go one way or the other. Although I bet Packer Nation is smart. I know some of you out there thumbs up both because oh, yeah. All right, well, I got to give you kudos. That's pretty smart. All right, I know some of you thumbs up both. Thumbs up both. It's such a weird thing to have to say. All right, guys. I was having this chat with some people, and all right, I'm gonna give my analysis on this situation right now. All right, and it's gonna go right back to thumbs upping both sides. To be quite honest, this Packer team has the personnel to get the job done. We had enough good plays called by Coach McCarthy to get the job done. Period. No question. On the other hand, when you have a team that is the only consistent thing about the Packers team is their inconsistency. This is my motto. This is the mic drop for the show. The only consistent thing is our inconsistency. When you have that and you start seeing that as the problem, you have to start asking yourself if we are not developing a culture of mediocrity when only consistency is consistent. Inconsistency is consistent. I'm sorry. The only thing consistent is our inconsistency. And when that's the case, you have to start asking yourself the question, is the culture have we sort of rarefied into this stagnant team right now? And Thomas says execution, and I agree, execution. But when players continually fail to execute from time to time, and this is the thing, I'll tell you right now, you watch this game. There were some plays in this game where we were unstoppable as an offense. There were some plays that were absolutely brilliant. They were well called, they were well executed, and we were successful. But you can pinpoint the dumb plays, the blunder-headed plays, not just with Aaron Rodgers going long when you got inside leverage and Jordy Nelson breaks out like he's supposed to. Not just Jordy Nelson, who basically pulled up on a route. Aaron said that he lost it in the lights, basically, that he couldn't see it against the backdrop. It's the mistakes are all over the field. They are all over the field. And then the same player making a mistake can have a brilliant play the next play. So I'm starting to ask myself the question if Mike McCarthy is able to foster a culture of excellence on the Green Bay Packers right now. We know what the expectations are. And everybody talks about these high expectations, and we've got all sorts of excuses why we don't. But the fact of the matter is, all they had to do is go out there and execute a few plays in this game, and we win this game. Now, again, it would not have been a satisfying win. William says, get a different shirt. I win, William. Anytime anybody compliments, has a negative talk on my shirt, I automatically win. Thank you for your jealous comment. Anytime, we have plenty of plays out on this field. Anytime you have a third quarter with 19 plays, and you can't even get in the end zone one time. So then you're talking about the players. The Packer Nation is divided because you're talking about the players executing. But then when the players don't execute, you're talking about the coaches. When are we going to motivate them to be great? To play up to their expectations and to play up to their potential. This is a big problem. This is becoming a systemic problem, and that's where you have to start. My root cause analysis is starting to wheedle its way through the players and back to the coaching staff at this point. And I am not, okay, so with that said, all is not lost yet, okay? And I want to talk about that probably at the end. I think I'm going to push back, well, maybe not. What I want to talk about, just to sort of finish out that discussion, is this. Because Aaron Rodgers was one of the guys, he did not make excuses in this game. He called everybody out, including himself. And he said, one of the things he said is there was no energy on this team in the first half. And he's right about that. And he said there's no excuse. He said we get paid good money to bring it every week. So here's my thinking on that. And I want you to emoji me your response to this, all right? Because this just sort of popped into my head, guys. Aaron Rodgers talks about the lack of energy. Mike McCarthy at the half said the same thing, basically. Before the game was even done. We're not playing fast, he said. He was talking about the energy level. I have two words. I have two words to comment about the lack of energy on this team. John Kuhn. Go. What are your thoughts? I mean, have we lost the one player that when we needed? Remember the Detroit game last year? Who was the spark plug in the Detroit game before John Crockett even got on the field? We ended up with the Hail Mary. We won that game. John Kuhn. I think we're missing that boy who had 3 touchdowns in one game, by the way, with the Saints. And again, that's no slight on Ripkowski, but he has been, he's kind of come into his own. We expected him to do better. Not much in this game, a couple carries. We were lacking energy at Lambeau Field. Do you think John Kuhn would have put up with that? He ain't going to have none of that. And Aaron Rodgers, to his credit, made this comment. He says, I'm not a rah-rah guy, but I am intense every game. I bring it. But with that, if that's the type of leadership Aaron Rodgers brings, then we need a guy who's a spark plug on the offense. And the guy who's a spark plug on the offense does as much work on the sidelines as he does on the field, especially on the offense. On the defense, you can go out there and go crazy from time to time. You still have to play smart, very smart. But on offense, you need somebody who's going to shake things up on the sidelines and say, this is not acceptable. And we saw Eddie Lacy early in this season as a bit of a spark plug, but he's not that kind of guy either. He's not the kind of guy that's going to start going and getting in people's faces on the sidelines and letting them know. Joyce Allen says, the spark plug we need, I don't know if this is what your comment is, but if it is, I agree. We need to hire that squirrel as our motivational speaker this week and bring him out on the field. Although, like I said, I think he was brought by the Colts to slow down offense because we were rolling at that time. But John Kuhn, we're missing that guy right now. And no Eddie either. So let's unpack the play, guys. Talked about this a little bit earlier on. We had, early in the first quarter, we had a 1st and 10 on the 36-yard line. Scores 24-13. With a 2-point conversion, we can bring it up to 21. We can bring it to within a field goal. This is a crucial drive, crucial offensive drive. And on first down, this is a play, you'll remember this one, where Aaron Rodgers drops back. Pressure in his face. He unloads downfield to Jordy Nelson, who breaks to the outside for the back shoulder. All right. Guys, this play. I'm so torn because I watched this play again. I slowed this thing down, and here's what happened. All right. Jordy Nelson got his shoulder. It was inside leverage without a question. It was inside leverage. And so anytime, you're just expecting you need to break to the back shoulder. And that back shoulder pass is just a given in that situation. That's what Jordy did. But I can see what Aaron Rodgers was thinking because Jordy got his shoulder under the defender and had a step. The defender stumbled on this play. And Aaron Rodgers saw a touchdown and thought that Jordy Nelson was thinking the same thing. So this is one of those that, if Aaron Rodgers had been on the same page as Jordy Nelson, that's a first down. If Jordy Nelson had been on the same page as Aaron Rodgers, that's a touchdown. Huge, huge play. Then we falter, and we have to punt it away. And what do the Colts do? They come right back, drive down the field, and Frank Gore gets his second touchdown on the ground. This is the thing, though. If we had if there was one or two of those plays, one or two times this is going to happen. You're going to have a miscue. This is a West Coast offense. The kind of thing happens. But again, the only consistency we have is our inconsistency. We see this a half dozen times a game. It's got to get fixed. So these guys are going to... William Carr says, let the squirrel call the plays. But that's what happened on that play, and that was crucial. That was a crucial drive. Could have been a touchdown or at least a first down in that series. Had we been able to take a little more time off the clock, even if we had kicked a field goal, that changes the perspective for the defense in that situation. Perhaps the defense was a little more ready. So we are a 4-4 team. You can emoji me your response right now. Your feelings again if you want. We're a 4-4 team. We are a mediocre team. There's just no two ways about it. The record proves it. If we had lost only to great teams, I would say maybe we're a good team. Maybe we're better than our record, but we're not because the Colts aren't a good team. This is a team we should have beat. They are terrible against the pass. And yes, we put up yards, and yes, we had the touchdowns, but we should have had about 3 more. We scored 10 points. One of the positives, we scored 10 points off turnovers in this game. But again, just not enough. So what do we do to get it fixed? Well, it's a big question. It's one we're going to turn to later on in the week. And we got the Tennessee Titans coming up, folks. It is not a fantastic Monday for all of you out in Packer Nation, I know. But keep in mind, this is what I wanted to end on. I mentioned it earlier, guys. 4-4 still puts us 1 game out, okay? The one positive that we got to kind of cling to, it doesn't help us down the road. It doesn't help us against the Titans. It doesn't help us against the even better competition than that we're obviously going to face here very soon, okay? It doesn't help us against that, but it is a fact that we are still very much in this right now. And it also is a fact that we have personnel on the field that are showing from time to time, none of them consistently, that they can truly make plays out there. Jordy Nelson ripping the ball away from a defender showed that he can truly make plays. We're just not getting enough of them done. Ty Montgomery out there showed that he could, or especially early in this game, showed that he can truly make plays out there. Clinton Dix, even though he wasn't able to bring down Luck. Had him wrapped up. He went high. Luck's a big dude. He's an athletic dude. He doesn't get enough credit for that. Clinton Dix went high. Wasn't able to bring him down. Andrew Luck's a good quarterback and was able to unload for, 27 yards or whatever it was. But we've got some players out on the field. Mike Daniels was an absolute beast Julius Peppers needs to have a little more of an impact, and hopefully we get Clay Matthews back. We've got to continue to get healthy. It didn't seem to help us much at all in this game, although Rollins had an almost sack. And we did see some benefit to getting pressure on Luck, even though we didn't see the sack count that we truly should have had. Rick Mottie's saying we're a bad football team. I say we're a mediocre football team, but we've got a lot of good players. So we've, I'm not going to take anything away from, this loss. There's just no question about it. We lost to a bad team. But we've also beat some pretty decent teams. We lost to the Vikings when they were playing very well by 3 points. So fortunately, it's a 4-4 record in the NFC North is good enough to stay in the race. And if you can eke your way to the playoffs, like Aaron Rodgers has said in the past, anything can happen. Frankly, I think this team is better off when it's up against a wall. I think we play poorly when we feel like we should win. And it's not that we play down to the competition, because we just play poorly when we have this feeling. When we start to get swagger, apparently we start to get overconfident. Brian is saying Peppers is a waste of money at this point. I like the way we've used him up to this point. We needed him. He basically started for Clay Matthews in this game. We needed him to truly come on. We didn't get that out of him. Tom says Rodgers needs his scotch again tonight. And Herb is again going, playoffs? It all factors in at this point. We're at the halfway point, and it's very important. It was an extremely important win for the Packers. This is 2 in a row that we could have gotten. We could have stolen. The Atlanta game would have been a stolen win. This game would have been the win that we should have gotten from start to finish. But we're third in the division at 4-4. But the rest of the division, no one is breaking away. This is the one division in the NFC that does not have a front runner right now. It's still a toss-up. Okay, Vikings imploded against the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions Matthew Stafford had a crappy game in this. He played like crap. And then until about 28 seconds left, and then one overtime series, Matthew Stafford looked mediocre at best. So we're going to have to regroup. And this is the company line. This is what we're going to hear from everybody is we got to regroup, make our corrections, and that's exactly what they're going to do. The problem that I have now is I'm starting to see a systemic problem that, yes, we can see the corrections on tape, but we have no motivation to go out there. There's no motivation, it doesn't seem, to go out there and execute. If this team's only MO is that it's consistently inconsistent. However, if we pull it together and we have 4 quarters of good football at some point from both sides of the ball, you look at the players on the field and we're going to be competing. But just the fact of the matter is they keep proving again and again to all of us who continue to believe that the only consistent factor to this team right now is its inconsistency. So we're still 4-4. We're still in it. Whether we're in it to win it, I guess we'll find out. But we have got a tough test coming up against Tennessee. We'll talk about that more later. I don't know if I'll talk about any more stats from this game, even though the stats weren't terrible. But one of the stats I would like to look at is we didn't run the ball hardly at all. We got away from the run right off the bat. Again, Ty Montgomery breaking up between running and passing. The guy is he's a dual threat without a question. So William says, sign the squirrel. I am going to sign off. Guys, if you haven't gotten on the new game, you can get in and play with the Packers live rather than fantasy. You can add it to your fantasy. It's a nice adjunct to fantasy. If you're doing fantasy, play this game too. It's called Fire Fan. We're going to have the Packer Nation League out the week of the 21st, so Thanksgiving week. We're going to be rolling it out and playing like crazy because, we're missing part of the season now, so we're going to be playing tons of games to try to get a solid league, solid season in, because whoever wins the league wins the ring. This is the Precious. You get to take it off my finger and smack talk me all about it when you win. But you have to go to firefan.com and put in the code GETTHERING, all one word, and you will be in to win. Folks, I hope your Monday does not suck. I hope that this video blog was therapeutic to some extent. You got to at least lay your emotions on the field. It helps a little bit from time to time. It's not going to make the Packers better. Frankly, I'm not sure that anything is going to make the Packers better at this point, but we still hold out hope. We're still fans. It means we're fanatic about this team. We love them. Doesn't mean we love the way they played last night. They didn't play well. We needed more out of them. So we're hoping that we can do that. this coming week against the Tennessee Titans. I did not see my friend Jared Dixon out there today. I don't think I saw Trent. I think Trent is cruising around maybe again. They've got the holidays coming on. Tim says back to the fundamentals, drop balls. Calvin says hashtag Packer Nation. All right, folks, you have a good day. And tomorrow we will talk again. Same Pack time, same Pack place. Go Pack.